Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and you join me right at the start of a 25-L no limit session on GG Poker. I don't have any regular place to play at the moment. Obviously, the app club, but I mean like outside of the app club. Um, so I'm not familiar with the regs in these games at all. I'm just going to play some poker, try and make some good decisions, and see what happens. All I've done so far is just tag players as red who are playing more than 4 tables because they're the sort of players who are trying, shall we say. I'm not saying the others aren't trying. We're going to 4-bet bluff this ace jack out of position versus an aggressive looking Finnish player. He calls. He's going to range bet this flop. Wouldn't expect to. Wouldn't be surprised to get raised here because people just fast play way too often. And I think we've turned equity here. We've got a nut draw. I'm just all in. We're going to run into brick walls sometimes, but whatever. We ran into a brick wall this time. Just going to run it once. Hope to get there. Did not get there. It's an amazing start, isn't it? 2 minutes in. And we are down a stack. When I say aggressive, by the way, and maybe this guy is actually just like aggressive, I typically just mean nits who fast play top of range and take some like elementary flop spots and what have you. By that I mean the stuff that's easy to memorize. They just do that. They'll knit it in the approach of, oh, this is easy to memorize. I know this is okay, so I'm just going to do it. And then on the later streets, the vast majority of players, myself included, are just massive nits in terms of like way, way, way under bluffing and turning up with like way too much value as a portion of their range when they're betting later streets. So that's my personal definition of nit. Is like pre-flop, they've memorized charts to a decent degree, and then stick rigidly to the value side of charts and less rigidly to the like lighter side of charts. Same on flops, and then from turns onwards, people are just very, very nitty and face up for the most part. I'm going to 3-bet the tens here. Flopping a set on an ace-high flop, which is nice. Get called. So now we're going to be the nit, which is going to try and play for stacks versus his ace-x. I think we're actually going to go with 70% here. Just like targeting the exact ace-x portion of his range, not trying to get called by stuff like queens, jacks, etc. Couldn't give a fuck about that part of his range. Just when he's got ace-queen, ace-jack, etc., I just want to get the absolute lot. Obviously, we're going to be all in here. Snap call by ace-queen. That one worked out perfectly. 10-7 here on 9-2-3. Just going to start off with a very small stab, see if we can get him to tell us a bit more about his range. If he raises, then we have an easy fold. If he calls, we have some potential to triple off. Almost certainly going to triple off now. Return the gut shot. 3-betting the ace queen. Getting it done with the double barrel here. Getting called 4-bet here by big blind, but it's for not very much, so we're calling. Same hand. Ace jack here. Let's start off with a bet. I'm going to start off with a bet here on the top right table too with the 10-9 suited. Turning a flush. I think we probably want to check this card in theory at a frequency, because big blind should have more flushes than us in theory. They lead out for small. This could be just someone thinking that's a better card for me than my opponent, so I'm just going to lead my entire range. We're just going to call. Now they come with a large bet on the river. We can't fold our hand. Don't expect to win here very often. We need to win, what, like 33% to break even. Pre-rake. Just going to hope we've got that amount of equity. And he just had a bluff. Happy days. Pocket fives. Would call the button. Fold from cutoff. So I'll just explain my tagging system that I've used today whilst we've got no one in the... Well, we have not got any hands. I basically just sort the lobby by player names. And then when I see somebody, I just scroll up and down the lobby. When I see somebody playing more than 4 tables, like this guy here now, we just double click on them. Oops. Add them as red. And continue scrolling the lobby. 4 tablers I'm not too bothered about, even though they could probably have a tag of their own. I just want to tag like the people who are 5 tabling or more. So when I need to find a new table, I can like just avoid tables that have got like multiple multi-tablers on them. Again here, I think we'll 4-bet bluff with the ace jack. Didn't work out too well last time, but God loves a trier apparently. Get jammed on it. Disappointing, but makes our life very, very easy. Opening up the pocket kings. Checking the ace queen. This player's going to get tagged as a fish because he's not reloading. And versus half pot, we have a triple call. Turn a queen, which is nice. Tag this guy as a fish. Tag this guy as a fish. I'm going to now just bet 70% pot, try and target Jack X, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, etc. I think a better hand than us does not check back the turn very often. 4-5 has got there, which could definitely be a thing. We're folding to a raise here. We just won't be any value whatsoever, and it will be underbluffed. Good for you, sir. Continuing tagging via the lobby. And I'll typically do this about once every 10 minutes or so, because these lobbies, they change at a pretty fast pace. We're nearly there. We're getting there. So there's loads of 4 tablers, but I'm not too worried about getting those tagged. And there we go. That's the job done. Took about a minute and a half. So I don't actively like go seeking out the green tags because there aren't enough of them, and it just makes table selecting a real chore. Just want to avoid tables with multiple red tags. I mean, this guy's obviously fish. The fish and GG, well, the fish in general on the mainstream sites are typically like just tight passive fish. Um, like this guy is not reloading, but he's playing 18-6. So there ain't much value in him, but you know, it's clearly a fish. It's Mzoct. For some reason, that name rings a bell to me. Don't know if I've just seen him on other people's streams or if he's actually some kind of streamer himself. I don't know. It feels like we've got some reasonable tables. Not good tables compared to what I'm used to playing on the app, but not utterly terrible tables. The minute we get 3 reds at any table, I'll be leaving because I just know it's quite easy to find tables with less than 3 reds, and why would I want to play with 3 people who are 6 tabling? That is just not going to be a profitable or enjoyable play. And I am pretty much just a fun player now. I try hard. I try to play well. I try to put myself in situations where I can make money, but primarily poker is my hobby. And as long as I'm not losing money at it, then it's all good. For those who used to hate the sound of me vaping, there's some good news. I still vape, which isn't the good news. The bad news is I don't have really noisy fucking rigs these days. I buy disposable ones because no one else cares about the environment, so why should I? And they're just a lot more convenient. Ambitious get in here with the 3s. Now drawing nearly dead. If Zoct were to 3-bet, we would 4-bet and go with the 9s. Got a player here playing 67% of hands over a small sample. Try an ISO. Donked into on the deuce 3, and then this guy raises. I was going to raise the donk myself, but now we'll just get out of the way. C-bet half pot with the Queen Jack. king turn. I mean, if he's ever floating hands like king 10, king jack, it's a bad turn for us. By and large, I think it's a turn we can double barrel, still try and get some value from some worst queens, draws, etc. Easy fold if raised. And I think river. Gonna go over do I want to go for a thin value bet? A lot of draws have missed a can't call. We're only really targeting worst queens. I think I'm going to check back. A bit weak, but whatever. And he had the king 5 of hearts. So that's as unfortunate as it is irritating. This guy raised and didn't see bet the ace king X flop. We're going to try and bluff and just hope we're not being trapped. Rivering a full house down here. I'm going to try for one last check raise. Always put the emoji in, so we'll just check now because no one ever does that when they're weak. Are we just running to king queen here? I guess so, but not folding. Yep, king queen. That's a shock, isn't it? Fish here raising. I think we had 10-9 suited with peel, but 10-8, we'll just let it go. Going to bet twice now with our ace-5. Going to call this turn probe. And depending on his river size, call or fold. Just check back now, he checks. 5-4 suited. This is someone who's not reloading. We'll have a little 3-bet. Try and get him heads up. Hope not to face 4-bet. Get called and c-bet. Pick up the double gut shot. So we shall barrel. And I guess we're all in on this river. Not confident that it's going to succeed very often, but doing it anyway. Deep in the tank. Not super confident this is going to work. Don't think people have the discipline to fold ace-x here enough. We did get the fold though, which is nice. Here we've been 3-bet with 10s. Don't know anything about this guy whatsoever. Flopping a set, which is nice. And we're just going to check shove the flop. I don't really care that he's gone small. We're just going to be all in. Don't want to risk calling, then the turn checks through, board changes, etc. This isn't a board that you should have small bets on in theory, I don't think. If he's doing this with like ace king, ace queen off, etc., then I think good for him. 3-bet the 5-4 suited again because it went so well last time. Get called and I'm not c-betting this board. 8 queen jack doesn't appeal to me as a board I want to c-bet. That's not to say we're giving up on the pot. It just means we're not going to c-bet at this stage. Now he checks again and we pick up the flush draw and we pick up maybe some fold equity with the ace. I have a bet now. It would be a shame to get raised off our hand, but I think facing 2 checks and picking up some equity feels like a pretty natural turn bet. And we take it down again. Which is nice, of course. Four three suited, not an open on the charts, but we're doing it anyway. This board is not a range bet. When I do bet, it's going to be for a large size. We get dunked into, which is nice. Could we don't have to put any more money in the pot. And we instantly get to tag the guy as green because he's not reloading and he's just done that, which has to be theoretically unadvisable. Elvis Presley. What a lovely tribute to a paedophile, eyes. You're my hero. You moved Priscilla Presley into your house when she was 14 and married her when she was 16. And probably fucked her before she was. What a great guy you were, Elvis. Someone posting here, so we'll make it 3x rather than 2.5. Been 3 bets small by a fish on the top left table. Easy call. Fun flop. I expect quite a lot of big bets from a fish here. He comes with half pot, easy call to start with. And now if we're beat, we go broke. He bets 1 big blind. No idea what to make of this. But we're obviously going to raise. And if he comes back over the top, good luck to me. We're going to be all in on the river. Here we're going to peel with our good shot. Here we're going to throw the 5-4 away. Very hard for him to have full houses here. If he does, pay the man his money. We have to raise. I mean, we're beat by ace, queen, ace, king of hearts. But we're all in. Wow. What is that, Big Daddy? Big Daddy, what are you doing? Just going to flat the 10-9 suit on the button versus the multi-table is open. Easy check back on the flop. Easy call on the turn. And then decide on the river. Very easy. He could be range checking the flop, could still have many strong hands in range. If he bets big again, I'm just folding second pair. It's given us the opportunity to check back. I suspect we don't win very often here, but I don't think bluffing outperforms check, so we'll just check. Yeah, Queen Jack. We'll start this off with just a bet with these suits. I'm going to continue barreling on a spade. On the 9, I think we're just done. He snap checks back, but I still think I'm just done. This is the guy who like triple checked, so he double checked the board earlier. Wow. He only put one bet in post flop with a hand that should have 3-bet pre. That's interesting. This guy didn't 3-bet ace queen and then missed value. Do I want to 3-bet the jack 9 suited versus this guy? He's only raising 14%. So no. That's twice now we've been just cold called by hands that should have 3-bet, and twice they've only managed to get one street. Well, only put money in on one street. I mean, this guy just called, then checked. I mean, this is why we shouldn't be calling rivers at micro-stakes poker, because the under-bluffing that is going on is absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Like not just under-bluffing, but also it's like just people scared to value bet top pair on the river in small pots. So if people aren't bluffing and they're scared to thin value bet, then what the fuck do their betting ranges look like? Deuce 3 deuce. Just have a little stab. Deuce, deuce, 3 deuce. Expect to see some donking here. Didn't see it. I don't think we get ace high to fold. So there's not really an awful lot of point in betting a king. And now we have an easy call. It's going to open any two into somebody currently rocking a 17B pip, albeit over a small sample. Flop a double gutter, so we'll have a little stab. Would have got there too. Jack 10, easy check back, second pair. Easy call turn, adding the gut shot. Not in love with the size, but still an easy call. And maybe bluff this river, depending on what size he goes. If he goes big, I'll just fold. If he goes small, I'll just raise fucking massive. And versus check. Again, if we bet, we're going to be trying to make a king fold, which I don't think we have a lot of chance of unless we massively overbet. Do I think overbet outperforms check? Maybe. But I'm going to check anyway because I'm weak. And he just had a draw that missed. Quick lobby update. I'll do this off screen now because we don't need to be watching it again. I have been playing some of the full ring anti games, but they really are like pretty reg infested. I don't know that they are better than these games because they are like grossly overrated as well. Grossly overrated. Like my rake in big blinds per 100 in those games is something like 13. So yeah, they are interesting to play and fun to play in a way, but there really is an awful lot of regs who are playing two lobbies for like 18 tables. They're not good, they're just nits, but it's just hard to find the value because there's so fucking many of them. I think the format is good. I like the format, but I think the actual game itself on GG, I think the rake is hard to beat unless you are just like four tabling or something. And then you can cherry pick tables and concentrate far more on the big spots to like make sure you get absolute max value, and also find some of the discipline folds that we find hard to find, that I had to find when we are autopiloting. It turns out Elvis Presley has been tagged as a more than four tabler, so we need to consider our options at this table because we now have 3 red tags. Might check raise this board depending on what size he goes, but he doesn't bet, so raise here with our turn straight. Get the fold immediately. This player's limp the button. Check raise or check call depending on his size. Again, he checks back. This is definitely a leak of mine when I just don't fight hard enough for these like tiny pots. Versus passive fish. I don't believe this though. I don't believe this for a second. Like check back flop. half pot turn. It's not a line that reeks of value, is it? We now have three. Now this table definitely needs to go because three red tags and a 12V pip. There's absolutely no point being at this table. There's no value in it, no juice whatsoever. So just leave. And we'll find another table to have ready for when we leave this one. I'll say we'll try to find one. The only tables that are that one only got one red tag on it. And we missed out on the seat. Hope we won't miss out on this seat. Fuck my tits. We did miss out on it, and there's not a red tag to be seen. We will join the waitlist for that one. For some reason, it's bought me in for fucking 50 big blinds, which I don't understand. Oh, yes, I do. It's because I buy in for half a stack in the deep stack games, so that will immediately top up to 100 big blinds. You can't see any of this, of course. Jack 10 suited versus a Nate who's 3x the button, 16/7. Let's hope to flop well. Don't expect a 16/7 to have a particularly sophisticated C betting strategy. Quickly move this other table in. Now we're going to leave this one. And this new table that's going to slide in wherever it's going to slide in, up there. We open the 7-5 suited. We got a reasonable flop. We c-bet and we won. Now, this isn't to say because these players aren't tagged that none of them are good players or reasonable players. It's just none of them were six tabling at the time I last marked the lobby. This table now is also gone, not staying at a table with 4 red tags for one player. Again, it's just not a particularly profitable situation. And it's important you do this. I know GG don't like people, like what they call bum hunting, but we as players shouldn't like paying relatively high rates for per game quality. No, that's just kind of the economics of the game. Now, for some reason, it's not letting me. Okay, maybe it just glitched. There was a table that I would very much like to have joined, but it wasn't letting me join it. Aha, we are in. So as you've seen, we've recycled 2 tables now, and we've only got 2 red tags, currently got 2 red tags across the tables, and we'll just quickly scan the lobby again and update in case some of these untagged players are just starting their session. Don't like raising these small pairs on the button, frankly. Don't like raising just low cards, but I mean, we do it because we do it, don't we? But I don't like doing it. They're not that fun to play. I'm not good at knowing when to bluff with small pairs. Who is? Apart from like really well studied players. So when you don't flop a set, it's just like, oh, I don't flop a set. Now, let's just do some random things in order to try and win the pot sometimes because I don't know any better. So if I scroll in the lobby, we haven't picked up any new mass tablers. Just picked one up now. Don't know if he's going to be at one of the tables or not. Oh, there's one there. Look at this bad boy 8 tabling. There we go. There's the lobby scan done again. And we didn't pick up... Oh, yeah, we did. We picked up this extra red tag, didn't we? I think. If we get squeezed here, we might just 4-bet and decide to go with it, even though it would be really not clever to call off versus a 5-bet jam. 6-6-8 versus a button cold call. Start with check and then see if we can pick anything up from his action, his timing, his speed, etc. Versus 1/3, we're just calling. I think it's going to be like chronically underbluffed for this size, but versus 1/3, what are we going to do? Four in the ace king. Again, not using theoretically correct sizes because people aren't using theoretically correct ranges. This is pretty dirty. We need like 20% equity here. Run into the ace queen. He wants to run it twice. Yeah, why not? Whoops, that's not a good start. That's not a good ripper. Chop it up. Bit unfair, but whatever. It is what it is. Better than losing. Although we did lose to the egregious rake. Flopping a full house. Facing a very small 3-bet from this player. Not in love with my king jack, but we clearly can't fold for the price we're getting. Just trying to reduce a raise here with the pocket 7s. Jack's not a good run out. Not that because I think he's necessarily got a jack very often. Just means we can't now overbet versus 4x. I mean, if he's got a jack, good for him. I'm hoping he's just trying to like thin value raise a 4. Obviously, you can have some Jack X. And of course, he had some Jack X. Whoever check raises rivers. Racking up these fucking GG care points, though. I mean, that's pretty unfortunate when you flop a full house and the guy who calls with about 1% equity just hits perfect. But it is what it is. I mean, if he raised bigger the river, I genuinely would just have folded. But when he raises that size, he might just be trying to get some extra value with the 4. I mean, the one thing we all knew was there were no bluffs in that range. But for the size, we beat some value, so we just call. Now, my question is, do I want to make a long video or do I want to make 2 videos? I think we'll just make a long one. Can't be asked. This does show the reliability of my rudimentary tagging system in that we found a new table and it's got 3 players on it that we can quickly identify as green tags. 5-4 suited. Do I want to try and isolate this player? Not versus their under the gun range. Don't know a lot about them yet, but I try not to mess around too much with early position opens. Turning the straight in the top right table. That will 2/3 pot river. So as I always say about these micro stakes games, which are my domain, they're not tough. The players aren't good. They're not capable of like routinely putting you in at really tough, really close spots. They're just tight, basically. As am I. So, like, what makes these games tough to beat for a like very high win rate is just the fact that there isn't that much loose money in them. I don't think the players are especially like good. They're not bad by any stretch. I'm not saying these players are bad. They're just not like. There's very few players in the pool who are like really, really well drilled, really, really well studied, and like really, really like aggressive with enough portions of their range. So that if you have an overall strategy of overfolding on later streets and trying to make sure you don't miss too much value, you're going to do fine. 9s here. Could 3-bet or call. I don't really have a preference. Versus big c-bet would just have a pretty easy fold with the 9s. Versus this half pot, we just got nothing going on with our hands, so we should fold like a ropey backdoor straight draw. Gonna squeeze here with the ace queen. Again, don't love messing with under the gun. But our hand plays quite easily. It's basically squeeze it, fold to 4-bet, and then proceed post flop as best you can if you do pick up a call. It's a relatively simple game, this, when you're playing against other similarly limited players. Ace king of red. It's a good start. It's a good flop. Do we know much about this guy yet? Because this is a hand I will sometimes 3-bet. But we're just going to call. See you at the river, Admiral. I expect a lot of checks here. Comes with overbet on the turn. Can't fold, of course. And we river straight. It's not the nuts. We still lose to 6-8. We're all in, expecting a lot of folds, but you just never know. You just never know. Do we indeed get the fold? As we 3-bet the ace king and take it down. When the 9s versus his smallish 3-bet. Not comfortable at all, but doing it. Easy flop check call. Again, don't think this size is particularly good. It might be okay in theory. I think in practice it isn't particularly good. I think your overpairs want to bet bigger on this board for like super clean value. He now does size up. Now really I'm quite uncomfortable, but we're going to call anyway. Probably for massively overfold river. Certainly on that card. We're just going to get bluffed a bit here, and that's fine. I want to play pots with this guy, so we're going to call the Queen Jack. Well, this is interesting. We have a red tag who should be green because he is not reloading. Squeezed here by someone who's rocking a 15, 13, 5 bunch of numbers. Monotone flop, very easy small bet. What a shocker. The Nate had the top set. Who knew? I'm going to see bet this board with the ace king. Very dry board. We don't really have too many draws that we're going to see bet. So we may as well see bet our two overcards. And I think, given he called very quickly, I'm just going to bet small again. See if we can induce raise. And if he doesn't raise, probably make a very large river bet. Queen 10-0. Pretty miserable hand multi-way, but we're going to see 3. You see the very small c-bet multi-way. We have a good shot, so we call. Now we see the open bet, which is just never going to be a bluff. Oh, wow, it was a bluff and he's ran right into it. I mean, this, I don't know what this is. It just seems like fucking horrendous nitspew to me. 41.25. 3-bet the ace jack suited. Yeah, that was just seemed like nitspew to me. Don't really know what he's doing there. And frankly, I don't think he does. $5.6 big blinds, eh? Interested? Confirming that the green tag is accurate. Messages are flying. Versus this small 3-bet, we're of course going to peel. And easy fold. Easy called 4-bet. And side call it off. Not versus Zoct, but versus this dude. Too deep to get it in versus Zoct. Get it in, get it through versus both of them. King 9 here, gonna start with the C-bet. And again, as I talked about in previous videos, C-bet smallish on the first two streets, try and induce raise from the top of their range, and when we don't see the raises, then we just blast off and hope to get some folds. Yeah, and now we just zoom at the river, try and get a hand like ace-7 to fold, jack-9 suited, etc. Snap folds, beautiful. Miss our set. Hopefully, on the top right table, he will tell us the strength of his hand on the turn. Versus double half pot, I'm going to have a bit of a punt. Just trying to get hands like pocket 8s to fold. And we shall bluff the river. This is just nit spew from me, of course, but we're doing it anyway. We can definitely have some hands that call turn and fold river, especially on the queen. I mean, it's not going to work all the time, of course. It doesn't need to work all the time. And it worked. We like that. Going down the set mine, and we are flopping trips on another board. Set mine didn't work, but the king queen is. He goes with the small bet again. I think we're just going to make a small raise, try and get him heads up. He calls. Maybe could have gone bigger on that turn. It's a bit autopilot from me, but we got the job done anyway in terms of winning the hand. Obviously, we would have preferred some more action, but easy check call with the flush draw and the backdoor straight draw. And probably check fold now. Double barrels on these high card boards are just like going to be criminally underbluffed. Yeah, versus that size, just going to let my hand go. Pocket nines cut off. Potential reg of some description on the button, but potential fish in the small blind. Really don't want to reopen the betting with this hand, and I don't want to fold it, so just call. And versus big bet, trivial fold. Hard to tell if I'm up or down for this session. I suspect down small. Like less than like 30 big blinds. Ace-3 of red. 19/9. That doesn't feel like somebody I want to be 3-betting in a hurry. Does feel like somebody I want to be value raising against now, though. Either of these players call, I will be absolutely blasting turn breaks. That's not a break. If anyone's got a straight here, it's most likely to be Gold Seed, who now just leads out for full pot, and good for you, mate. Like, good luck bluffing that one. Good luck bluffing that one at the correct frequency, sir. Couldn't give a fuck that I just folded 2 pair in a heartbeat, because experience tells me that you're in incredibly rough shape there. At the snap pot. Oh yeah? You consider what your bluffing range looks like there, have you, mate? Have you deeply considered it? No, you haven't. You just, ooh, I've got a 5. Ooh, the board's scary. And I don't want to deal with bad rivers. Ooh, I'm betting full pot. Oh, they both folded. That's a shame. Fucking idiot. Racy daisy. Easy call with the 9s. We've got to call 8 here to win 22. Yeah, call, I guess, and lose. Once because fuck you. Calling again with the 9s, but really not loving it. But versus double half pot, there can be like worse value in there sometimes. Again, someone just like completely bottles bet in the river. I don't think I was calling anyway, but just more and more evidence for those of you watching who need it that calling river bets at micro stakes poker is a crime. It's a crime against your bankroll. Ace jack off versus a 3x. I think we're going to 3-bet. Don't know a lot about this player. In fact, I don't know anything about him other than he's been tight so far over a minuscule sample. 10-9 suited. I think we're going to 3-bet this guy to try and isolate him. Either way here, c-bet or check and hope he starts like merging or bluffing. And we'll go with the former. Take it down, which I'm happy enough with. $22.13. Call the tens. Bet the flop. And he folds. This guy doesn't reload, so you can get the green tag if it ever fucking pops up. Oh, I can see it's off screen. Don't know why it's gone off screen, but it did. And I can't appear to bring it fucking on screen, which is really quite irritating. Ah, there we go. Dong King Man. Another lovely tribute to the man who made Mike Tyson and then ruined Mike Tyson. King Jack suited could easily be a 3-bet. Again, I'm much more comfortable calling and playing pots in position. Check range. And go for a check raise, losing only realistically to pocket fours. This guy's bet pretty big. Easy call, see a turn. Probably fold versus turn big bets. This guy loves his turnover bets, doesn't he? I suspect he doesn't really know what he's doing with them, but he loves doing them. King, queen off. $22.13.3. Not somebody I'm particularly keen to 4-bet. Happy to show down here, try and show down versus ace, queen, etc. Called 4-bet up here. Not getting bored yet. Not sure how much longer I'm going to give it though. You'll know. Because you'll know how long the video's got left to run. Look at me rocketing up the leaderboard with my $4 that I will fail to defend throughout the rest of the day. Ace King. Yeah, I think we're going to knock it on the head now. I've kind of run out of things to say. So we shall sit out next blinds. What's happened here? We've raised blind v blind, did we? I don't know. Not going to fold just yet though. He's pretty capped when he doesn't bet the turn. I'm worried that we're just going to end up paying off like a 7 here. Raising makes absolutely no sense. We're going to call 4 to win 22. I'm just going to pay off. Turn the 8. Nice answer. Ace deuce suited. I'm going to again try and get this guy heads up. No. Range bet this relatively dry board. We do have like backdoor everything. Give up on turns that don't improve our equity. Like that one. Yeah, we're just giving up here. It's an interesting river. Versus block, we just cry, call, and lose a lot. But again, we got to call 40 and we win 50. Sorry, 10 to win 55. We don't need to win a lot. Wow. You really cannot call rivers, can you? You really, really, really cannot call rivers. They used to have hands that are just like, okay. I mean, I guess he played that hand fine. But I don't think we've called the river at the end. We haven't called many rivers, but every time we've called, we've lost. I have a stat on my poker tracker that shows like how often people bet river and win when called, and population average is like, if we exclude just raging whoppers, population average is something absurd, like over 80% of the time. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I played that hand well. I think I played it okay, but you just have to be so insanely disciplined on rivers, and it's hard. It's hard to be insanely disciplined on rivers because you just want to believe they don't always have it. They don't always have it. Not always, but mostly. So I started this session. We've got 200 bigs here. Oh, I think it's been like about a 3/4 of a buy and loser. But it is what it is. As I said, it's just a hobby now. Breaking even, slightly winning, fine by me. If I wanted to just like play and win, I'd be dicking around on sites like Sky, which have got some of the fucking most amazing fucking fish, head reg fish you will ever find. But you also have to put up with shit software, one tabling, and move into iPoker in a few months' time, which clearly can't be arsed with. Then we got Bet365, which is really soft, but not great in the mornings. So yeah, it is what it is. We booked a small losing session. We'll find out exactly how much in just a moment when I leave all the tables. Leave. I'll see what my balance has gone up to. Add 25 to that. Lost $13. So never mind. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care and bye-bye for now.